Welcome to this program in association with the Business World. My name is Vineet Malhotra, and the stimulus package was announced just a few days back. And there's been a plethora, there's been a cornucopia of reactions which have come, from various sectors. Some of them have felt that it was a step in the right direction. Some people also mentioned that it was a step perhaps which was taken in the backward direction. But we'll have all kinds of reactions when it comes to the government doing anything when it comes to the economy. But the fact of the matter is that revival and survival has to be the agenda of the day. Has the stimulus package really done so? And is it really just the government's prerogative? Is it really the government's job to make sure that all of us survive? I think not. I think it is also our mandate that the government we chose should be supported. And we'll talk about this with some of the young business leaders of the country today. And let me introduce them one by one. And joining me on the program is Ms. Divya Jain, who is the founder and CEO of Safe Educate. Thank you for being here. Mr. Anil Nagar, co-founder and CEO of Adda 24/7, is also here with us on this galvanizing program. Ms. Anushka Adya, founder and partner of Lajja Foundation, also joins me on this particular broadcast. Dr. Sunil Gupta, chartered accountant and ex-director of the PNB and Dena Bank, is also here with us on the program. Ms. Akshara Lalwani, founder and CEO of Communicate India, also joins us on this panel. Mr. Suresh Goel, co-founder of Bright Tuty, is also here with us. And last but by no means the least, Dr. Anurag Batra, who is going to be my co-anchor. He's also the chairman and editor-in-chief of Business World and Exchange for Media Group. Welcome, everyone. And, let's begin with some tough questions that I'm sure all of you are, gearing up to answer. Divya, let me come to you first. Obviously, we'll have Anurag come in regularly, and he's also going to lend some of his perspective along the way as to where we stand today and where we are going. So Divya, your response to the stimulus package and what it has done for the economy. Obviously, like I said in my opening monologue, that it is not just the government's job. It's not just their responsibility. The businesses also have to, in fact, introspect, and they have to innovate if they have to survive. What do you think?
Completely agree with you. I think when you first see a stimulus package, you expect a lot of goals. So your first reaction is obviously there are not enough grants, there's not enough money available. It's more loan based. But I'll tell you the things that we find really positive has been vocal for local. The focus of one district, one product. Encouraging manufacturing. I think this is a huge opportunity that we can look at. I come from the skilling and edtech sector, and I actually with so much migrant labor, which has actually left our cities who have gone back to the local areas of work. This is an opportunity we as people, as businesses need to grab, where we need to look at local production. And of course, from our end, what we're really looking at is reskilling, retraining, and really using technology to up this. So as far as the stimulus is concerned, I think there's a lot of positive of this. If businesses really make the best use of the opportunities that they've been given.
Divya, I just want to ask you, Vineet alluded to the role of an entrepreneur, the role of the government and the role of entrepreneur. There is a real fear that some businesses, startup businesses, the revenues have gone down to zero, they've not raised funding, they may not survive the next 60, 90 days, forget thriving. What do you have to say to that?
So Anurag sir, in our defense, I have 150 physical centers, and all of these centers actually shut down with COVID because of the demand, because of social distancing. And I do not feel that for the next 6 months, our physical centers will actually open up. What's really important here is to embrace the word pivot. We did in this past period of time, we've actually looked at online education, edtech, and we've really been using mobile phones, any form of technology available to us to skill. For an example, the Indian Army is using a phone and WhatsApp to teach soldiers how to assemble and reassemble a gun. So there's been a massive change, behavior change. So I think you need to take advantage of the behavior and really act on them now, because there are certain things that we can, make happen now in terms of adopting digital technology that possibly would have normally taken 5 to 7 years of any other environment.
Sure. We'll come back to you, Divya. At this point, let me go to Mr. Nagar. Your sector, like Divya's EdTech sector, has benefited by use of technology. People are spending more and more time in their homes, so hence possibly they're playing more games. E-gaming has gone up, so that's the positive side. But tell us, what is your response to the economic stimulus, and where do you see the economy and demand going? Mr. Nagar?
You'll have to unmute yourself, Mr. Nagar.
So, sorry, I was on unmute. So, Anurag, from business community point of view, especially from a tech perspective, this is a big opportunity. So, I will say that the complete offline education ecosystem has been stopped, and that has opened multiple opportunities or immense, huge opportunities for online edtech. And we are also of that. Most of our peers have seen huge jump in their traffic in last 3-4 months. On the other side, if we look at the grassroots level, or let's look at the education ecosystem at a school level, which is in our towns, villages, and the smaller places. So what I believe is that these guys are really suffering, and there has been a complete, I will say, the ecosystem has been completely disrupted, and the flow of education has stopped. So most of the school in smaller places, they have stopped. Recently, there was a report of on the current scale or current system of education post-corona. So that report was by UNESCO, and that clearly mentions that post-COVID, there has been gap between earlier education in schools in smaller places and in the new post-corona. So people who are in bigger cities or who are financially well off, they were able to move to some extent on online education. But probably the people who came from lower economic strata, they were not able to move up the ladder and could not get advantage out of it. So what I believe is that there is huge room where government can support and should support. As of now, I see there is a huge gap. The government has taken various initiatives also in terms of launching various platforms like Diksha or ePathshala or many other platforms. But if you look at the real utility of these platforms vis-a-vis what it can be with the help of private ecosystem, so I still see a huge gap there. And there I feel that government can probably do much more than what they have done with this stimulus.
Okay.
All right. Anushka, your opening comments as to what do you feel the economic environment needs. Obviously, we will get to the topic of liquidity and demand in just a bit, but what was your primary reaction to what the government announced? A lot of people also felt that this is entirely based on the supposition of contingent liability. There is no actual money being provided, and it is obviously being compared to the much developed economies in the West, where money has been handed out. So obviously, there will be some level of dissatisfaction. You are comparing apples with oranges.
No, I completely agree. What I feel is that the stimulus package is definitely not enough. What's going to happen is there's a lot of pent-up demand right now. That's sort of showing at the moment. All the customers that we're seeing right now are all pent-up demand. But gradually, the economy is going to take a dip. There will be a lot of salary cuts. There will be a lot of MSMEs that are not exactly in the trending industries of, say, digital, artificial intelligence, that are going to suffer completely. So the government needs to do a lot. They need to give money to people to keep the demand going. Otherwise, we're going to see a W-shaped recovery. We cannot compare to the developed countries of the world. They're going to witness V-shaped recoveries, but we are going to see a stagnation in the coming months, for sure.
Anushka, I'll ask you the same question I asked Divya, that, there is a real fear for some startups to fold up in the 60, 90 days, because till now they somehow survived, but their revenues have been decimated, they've not got funding, do you see that fear as a real fear, or it's being blown out of proportion?
So I feel a lot of startups which are not in the the industries that will make it will shut down, and there will be a lot of unemployment. Right now, I think we're only at about, in the urban areas, 11.6% unemployment. In the coming months, we're going to see the economic pandemic come to the country, and the government needs to do more in terms of maybe better policies, increasing demand, maybe looking at income tax rebates. A lot of policies to be looked at for sure.
Gupta, you've been on the boards of banks, you understand the economy, you're a BW columnist. Tell us, what is your response to the economic stimulus? What did the government get right, and what can the government do more?
Mr. Batra, whatever government has done, it is in the right direction, but there is a lot to do. You see, MSMEs, whatever government has given as a loan, in my view, there should be not only a soft loan of 10% or 20% in different cases, but there should be a kind of wage subsidy government should provide to the MSMEs, so that they should stand on their own. As far as interest part is concerned, of the this 3 months earlier, they have done now 6 months. Interest part of the MSMEs, not only MSMEs but of individuals also, government should think of waiving that interest. So it is a huge amount, but at the end of the 6 months, if some accounts are becoming NPA for non-payment of interest, or you see, MSME's position as on today is not so that they will be able to repay the interest and the installment maybe after 6 months, after this 6 month whatever government has provided. But the soft loan 10% or 20% what government has given, there is a 1 year gap thereafter the installment will start. But as far as the earlier loan is concerned, interest part government should think of waiving 100%. And you were discussing about the startups and all that. In my view, because Indian startup or Indian entrepreneurs should think that this is an open world now, and we have to compete with world as a whole. We have to see our quality. We have to see why TikTok has been successful. We have to. Everybody is saying leave the Chinese apps and all that. No, don't buy the Chinese product. But as far as we have Indian product, we have to compete with TikTok. We have to see whether their technology is good, whether their marketing is good, or what else. We have to see, our entrepreneurs should see that we have to compete with the TikTok-like things in the world, so that we should be number one. Leaving TikTok is not a solution. We should be better than the TikTok. Then only we will be in a position to give whatever we are producing to the world. This is about the your startup things. Obviously, everybody is in the match as far as economy is concerned.
How do we increase liquidity and bring back demand?
You see, as far in 2008, when there was the same kind of financial crisis, there was a Keynes theory that wherever downturn is there, government should spend more so that economic activity increases, job is created, and people have disposable income to spend. That way, government has to see whatever they are giving to not only MSMEs, they have to create the jobs. They have to give to the people. Obviously, the labor or the migrant laborers, they have given by way of Manrega or other Rozgar Yojana some money. People are getting the money, and that will come to the market for expenditure. But at the same time, this is not enough. Government may have to print the more currency.
There's another debate whether we should print more currency and not worry about rating. But I disagree with you that the current crisis is like 2008. Because the 2008 crisis was on the demand side. The current crisis is supply side.
No, sir.
And I believe that the government in the next few months will spend its way out of this by spending on infrastructure. So we'll come back to you. Let me come to Akshara. Akshara, you represent the service sector here. your services are in demand when the economy is growing, when the sentiment is bullish. Currently, the sentiment is very weak. Your clients, are they spending? What are your clients telling you? Give us your sense on how do you see the economy and your response to the economic stimulus. Akshara Lalwani?
We can't hear you, Akshara. Maybe you'll have to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Dr. Anurag. I mean, India is a very unique country, right? So here, where one side you can say that we're one of the fastest growing economies, we have the largest GDP. But when you look at GDP per capita, we're 117th or 116th up the list. So we're very unique. You can't compare ourselves to the US or Norway or Denmark and then say, oh, we're comparing apples to oranges, because that's not the right way. Has the government made initiatives in the right direction? The answer is yes, and a lot of my colleagues on the panel have said so as well. But there is a lot more to do, which are not short-term fixes, which are to make the economy truly sustainable in the long term. Because the small things are only short-term bandages, right? They're not going to help heal the wound truly. And answering your question about the service sector, it's very different. I work across sectors, across different marketing functions. So where like aviation and hospitality is really bleeding, we have healthcare which is bleeding slightly lesser. They're in a slightly better position, or EdTech in a slightly better position, or companies in technology on that aspect. So it's a bit of a dichotomy, polar sentiments happening. Everybody is hurting. But, and it's very, like people said, it's very different per sector.
Oh, we understand that. And we'll come back to what your sentiments of each of your clients is. And when do they see demand coming back? Because I believe a lot of brands and businesses are on the pause. They're waiting for demand to pick up. And they are, kind of watching what's happening in the environment. Suresh, you come from the EdTech sector.
Yes, sir.
The education technology sector has benefited.
Yeah.
Though, as one of the earlier panelists said, that it did create a digital divide initially, but now democratization is happening, and hopefully both the excess price and the device prices will be to a level where there can be a level playing field for all students. Tell us, how do you see the economic stimulus as a package? What can the government do better? And what are you doing as an entrepreneur to contribute to India's GDP?
जहाँ तक ये अपना इकोनॉमिक स्टिमुलस का बातचीत है, गवर्नमेंट ने काफी अच्छा किया है, बट मेरी एक थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट राय है. मेरी ओपिनियन में बिसाइड इकोनॉमिक स्टिमुलस एक फियर फैक्टर है पूरे बिजनेस वर्ल्ड में. लोग पैसा खर्च नहीं करना चाहते, लोग डर के कारण अपने पैसे के ऊपर बैठे हुए हैं. Nobody want to spend money because of uncertainty. Nobody knows कि कल क्या होगा, परसों क्या होगा. तो इस अनसर्टेनिटी को खत्म करने के लिए और फियर फैक्टर को खत्म करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट को कुछ इनिशिएटिव लेने चाहिए हेल्थ सेक्टर में.
अनसर्टन तो बैंक भी है लोन देने में.
नहीं, वो तो है.
बैंक्स के पास जा रहे हैं, बैंक्स भी लोन नहीं दे रहे हैं. अनसर्टन वहां भी है और यहाँ भी है.
हाँ, जस्ट लेट मी जस्ट कंप्लीट. मेरा कहने का पर्पस ये है कि जो अनसर्टेनिटी है ये बिकॉज ऑफ फ्यूचर को लेकर है, बिकॉज ऑफ हेल्थ फैक्टर को लेकर है. जब गवर्नमेंट जो कोविड बीमारी है, लोगों को उसके साथ एक तो जीने के लिए अपनी लाइफस्टाइल को और अपनी प्रैक्टिसेस को चेंज करना पड़ेगा. दूसरे नंबर पे जो कोविड को लेके मन में एक भय है ना कि मुझे कोविड हो जाएगा तो ये होगा वो होगा, टेस्टिंग को लेके 50 तरह की फॉर्मेलिटीज है. गवर्नमेंट को क्या करना चाहिए, हर नॉक एंड कॉर्नर पे हिंदुस्तान में टेस्टिंग फैसिलिटीज कोविड की खोल देनी चाहिए. जैसे ही कोविड का डर खत्म होगा, लोग बिजनेस में आगे बढ़ेंगे और अपने स्पेंडिंग बढ़ाएंगे. जब स्पेंडिंग बढ़ेगी तभी डिमांड बढ़ेगी, तभी बिजनेस बढ़ेगा. गवर्नमेंट कितने भी इकोनॉमिक स्टिमुलस दे दे, जब तक डिमांड नहीं आएगी, पैसा मार्केट में नहीं आएगा, कुछ नहीं होने वाला. सबसे बड़ी चीज है लोगों के डर को खत्म करना. डर को खत्म करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट को बेटर हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज देनी चाहिए, लोगों को एजुकेट करना चाहिए अबाउट कोविड. और पोस्ट कोविड के बाद किसी को कोविड हो जाता है तो उसके बाद उसको बेटर ट्रीटमेंट फैसिलिटीज नजर आनी चाहिए. लोगों के मन में एक डर है जिसकी वजह से वो पैसे को खर्च नहीं कर रहे.
Vineet, what Suresh is essentially saying, what some of our panelists have said, that there is a fear factor. Employees are not willing to go to office. We're talking to a large e-commerce player which has 8,000 employees in Bangalore, and only 10% have come back. 8% have come back, though they were allowed 10%. And so also,
but you know,
as
Anurag,
rightly said,
this fear is not going to dissipate until you have a vaccine or you have a cure. We'll have to wait for that. But the government, in the meantime, will have to make some sort of a makeshift arrangement, if we can call it that, for the economy to grow perhaps incrementally, maybe not in a holistic way, but incrementally. Divya, let me come to you. We've spoken about a plethora of things. We've spoken about how to revive the economy. Mr. Goyal also pointed out that how COVID-19 is perhaps the reason why there is so much resistance when it comes to galvanizing the demand, making sure that the sentiment which prevails to, have that demand back into the system is also rejuvenated. But that's not going to happen until the solution to COVID-19 is in fact, widely available. And there is a while before that happens. You have to have a vaccine, you have to have medicines which take care of that disease. Obviously, you have FabiFlu, you have Coronil, which was recently put out by Baba Ramdev, but it's going to take time before confidence comes. Today, if I take a Crocin, I know it works for me. So, it's a confidence that I've developed over the years. Similarly, when you talk about the sentiment of demand, there has to be confidence infused. Firstly, by the advent of a medicine, and secondly, by the reassurances of the government also to some extent. What do you think?
Vineet, thank you so much for that, Sureshji. Very valid point. So the minute you say that, let's do a lockdown and let's sit at home for 60 days and let's just sit in a room and do nothing, that has had far-reaching impact on everyone, on the workforce. People have become slower, they become weaker. Work from home is great, it works for certain sector, it's great for tech, right? But if you have a regular person sitting at home from morning to night, there's a massive behavior change, right? There's a lot of slowness that has come in just the workforce also. So while I agree with you completely that there's fear, but there's also demotivation. It's an easy out, right? So I think as business people, what we need to do is understand that this cure will take a while. This is the new normal. For the next 6-9 months, nothing's going to change. But sitting at home is really not the answer. What is the answer is practice social distancing. In my office, people are extremely petrified when someone gets COVID. But in a regular meeting, no one wants to wear a mask, right? So you want to be casual regularly, but you want, an extreme response when something goes wrong. So really, let's concentrate on social distancing, wearing a mask, and if stuff happens, it will be dealt with. And as corporates, as business people, let's be there for our employees. So everyone who works for us, we take care of them if they have COVID. So I think if we can have that assurance from the government as businesses, and from the government, really, Vineet, what I would recommend is, can we have just rules that we follow? I think every week there is a new rule. At some point, testing is being banned. At some point, home quarantine isn't allowed. So I think if the government can just give us an environment which is consistent, we will figure out a way to work with it. We are entrepreneurs, we are business people, we will make this work. So that is what we are great at. From the government, what I ask for is consistency, consistent rules, and just information and knowledge. And, let us fight the fight. That's what we're best at, right?
Valid articulation, right there. Yeah.
So what else can the government do? You alluded to the fact that the government can spend its way to create demand. But if we take what Sureshji said about a real fear, where people have the money, but they're afraid to venture out, if I may use that. What do you think the government can do to get the demand back? And what can the government do to get the liquidity back? Mr. Sunil Gupta?
Please, you are asking to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
What can we do, the government do, to get the demand back and to get the liquidity back?
See, there cannot be a specific answer to that, but there are a number of things. You see, you might have heard on the ports in India. Every port in India, there is lot of huge raw material coming from China, and it is pending verification there and clearance. There is no guideline or notification from the government to stop it or to delay it. Rather, I think bureaucracy is doing on its own. This is my opinion. I'm not having any document for that, but there is a dearth of raw material in the manufacturing industry, which is whatever it is, chemicals or whatever electronic items, whatever is coming from the China.
Components.
So government has to come with a specific direction to all the custom authorities to clear it as soon as possible, because it will ultimately, there is a supply chain mismatch. Once it will come, the manufacturing will be there. Otherwise, even if you have opened up the industry, so industry will not work on 100% or 50% capacity, whatever they want to do. So this is number one they have to do. And as far as demand is concerned, making demand, you see, government has to give more and more money to the public. Then only the demand may come. Because you are saying that demand is not there. Today is not the problem of demand, but it is the problem of supply chain. It is the mixed problem. Supply chain as well as of the demand. Once you will create the demand and we will remove the hurdles for the supply chain, and all the process, the bureaucracy, I believe, is the hurdle. And once the bureaucracy of every nature, whether it is the ministry or it is the different departments, government has, you must have heard when the industry was coming from the China to Vietnam or Bangladesh or India, and we were discussing at every corner that the one window service will be provided by the government of India. And even the land and all that, all the state governments were willing to give the land and of the one window service. But we cannot find one window service even for our industry in India. Even if I want to set up one MSME, you see, one very peculiar example I will give to you. One of my clients was establishing an MSME during the COVID time, during the lockdown. They applied for PAN. First, they applied for LLP in the company's portal, MCA. It took 15 days to register one LLP. Thereafter, they applied for PAN with the NSDL. NSDL in Pune was the closed, and it was in the cantonment area, and it supplies PAN to all over India's industry. There was nobody in the NSDL office to give the PAN, and without PAN, you cannot open the bank account. Just see how the industry will survive. They cannot start the work. Lot of clients were trying to do the work for medical products, but they cannot do because one PAN is not available. This is the government should think of removing these types of small hurdles. Lot of certificates have to come, whether it is ISO or different kinds of CE certification. Everything is taking so much time. One window service for the client which is coming from the China, you want to give. But for you in your India, first you take care of your Indian industry or small industry or medium industry. Then you think of the bringing the big clients from the China to India. So this type of facilities, this type of hurdles, once government at the central level and all the state levels, they should be bent upon of giving these type of facilities to Indian entrepreneurs. And this is the mouth publicity. If Indian entrepreneur is not happy in the India, and how the person, because everybody is having a linkage. Any industry which is in the China and it is owned by American entrepreneur or from the Japan, they will discuss with the Indian entrepreneur what is the position in India, whether we can work properly or not. And once we are not happy in India, how we can support them? Okay, you come to India. So this is the thing. India government should think of giving red carpet welcome to your MSMEs. Then you bring the industry from the China.
Okay, Mr. Gupta, fair point. Simplify the rules, have a single window clearance, make sure that mission critical applications to the economy are cleared on a real-time basis, if I may say, and most importantly is to treat the Indian entrepreneurs with more welcoming attitude. I think those are very valid and real issues and suggestions that you made. Let me come to Mr. Nagar. Mr. Nagar, again, it is being talked that the digital transformation of a lot of businesses will actually provide the fillip to the economy over a long period of time, or at least in the medium term. That will create the growth in GDP. What do you have to say to that?
Yes, Anurag, as I said earlier, that education is something, if we use right technology and right methods, it can be very effective in online mode. Only thing is we have been suddenly pushed into online mode. So pre-COVID, there was a certain ecosystem, and suddenly COVID came and all the schools got closed. I'll give you one example. So I have one 10 years old son, and his school is now providing 2 to 3 hours online class. Now he is there on the laptop for 2 to 3 hours, but about, if we exclude that, rest of the time he has nothing to do. He cannot go down, he cannot play with his friends. Eventually he ends up playing games the whole day on mobile, or just I feel for him that what he should do, what he can do. So what I feel is that the first thing the government should do is, when it comes to school education, they should spend a lot on training teachers for providing online education. These teachers were not trained for online education; they were primarily offline teachers, and suddenly all school teachers have been pushed into online. They are not trained; they don't know how online mode, right? So that's one area where I feel that government should emphasize a lot and spend a lot. This is true for private schools as well as government schools. Other than that, coming to your question, in terms of opportunity for edtech or the contribution of edtech companies in the overall GDP, I think it is going to grow exponentially in coming years, because as I said, that education is something which where technology can play a big role and can add a lot of value if it is applied properly. And that traction we are already seeing. Although we have been pushed randomly into it, but there are a lot of entrepreneurs, lot of tech companies which are making best out of it. And eventually parents are also realizing that there were a lot of things which they were not able to do when it comes to offline classrooms. Those things have now become possible in online. For example, earlier this guy or the student is going to attend the class once, and if he has any doubts, he cannot connect again with the teacher, because then he will come to home and all. Student can watch the video again and again, and maybe connect for a live doubt session with the teacher. So a lot of things can happen now. And what I believe is that over the next 1 year and 2 years, a lot of innovation is going to happen in online ecosystem. It is going to create more. It will bring more students in learning mode. So I also believe that there's a lot of dropout in smaller places. That is also going to reduce, because now I believe that people have smartphones and all those devices at their home, and if we can provide them affordable and cheap education with the high quality and the right technology, then adoption is going to increase drastically. So what I feel is that this dropout rate is also going to decrease over the time, and that will add a lot of revenue in terms of GDP also.
Thank you. You know, again, edtech space in any sector that becomes big attracts a lot of players. I believe a lot of players are very similar and they don't have a differentiated offering. In fact, I believe, I know of 200 education technology players. I believe 80% of them won't last beyond 12 months, or there will be consolidation. The smaller players will be, kind of acquired by the bigger players if they have a differentiated offering. But Goel sir, coming to you, what do you think? You already talked about the government giving confidence to everyone, to the citizens, on testing, on beds, on corona being curable, and the government having the wherewithal to cure it. What else do you think can be done to revive the Indian economy?
Only the fear factor can revive. I mean, जितना fear कम होगा उतना ज़्यादा Indian economy revive होगी. It is directly related to that. प्री कोरोना भी हिंदुस्तान में इकोनॉमी चल रही थी, हमारा इकोनॉमी जीडीपी रेट ग्रोथ का थोड़ा सा कम था. नाउ वी आर इन नेगेटिव जीडीपी. हमारा जीडीपी रेट जो है ये नेगेटिव है इस समय, 5-7% जो है इट्स नेगेटिव. इट्स गोइंग टू रिमेन नेगेटिव जब तक लोगों के मन में डर और भय खत्म नहीं होगा. लोग पैसा खर्च नहीं करेंगे. गवर्नमेंट कितने भी इंसेंटिव दे दे इंडस्ट्री को, पीपल विल बी सिटिंग ऑन द मनी, दे विल नॉट बी यूजिंग इट. जब तक वो फियर फैक्टर खत्म नहीं होगा, और ये गवर्नमेंट के इंसेंटिव से नहीं, लोगों के आपस में ही डर खत्म करने से ज्यादा होगा. जब तक आप मिलने से डरेंगे, जब बाहर जाने से डरेंगे, तो आप यू कैनॉट डू द बिजनेस. वंस यू मूव आउट ऑफ द हाउस, यू मीट पीपल, आपके मन में कोरोना को लेकर डर नहीं होना चाहिए. आपको लगना चाहिए कोरोना इज अ ट्रीटेबल डिजीज.
Sure.
99% केसेस कोरोना कैन बी ट्रीटेड, 2-3% ये हमारे के जो है डेथ रेट है। आप हिंदुस्तान में देखो कितने कैंसर पेशेंट हैं, वहां पर डेथ रेट इससे भी ज्यादा है। बट चूंकि हमारे मन में एक डर और भय बैठ गया कि कोरोना मीन्स आपको ये नहीं पता कि आपके साथ क्या होगा। यू आर हियरिंग लॉट ऑफ स्टोरीज फ्रॉम हियर एंड देयर, उसके साथ ऐसा हो गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया। दैट इज मेकिंग यू आइडल। जब तक आपके मन से कोरोना को लेकर डर खत्म नहीं होगा, आप पैसे नहीं खर्च करोगे, डिमांड नहीं आएगी, आप कितना भी प्रोडक्शन कर लो, गवर्नमेंट कितनी भी इंसेंटिव दे दे, जब तक पैसे डिमांड नहीं आएगी, प्रोडक्शन से कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ने वाला। कितनी एमएसएमई हिंदुस्तान में आ जाए, आपके पास पैसा है, आप उसको पैसे को खर्च नहीं करना चाहते, until unless it is must for you.
Thank you, Mr. Goyal, for bringing that important nuanced point of view, that what is needed is to get the fear factor out of the minds of consumers, get them back in circulation, get them out of their homes to work, to public places, and that will only happen when the government is able to give them a cohesive policy of testing, of the beds being available, and communication that is coherent about it. Let's come to Anushka and Akshara. Anushka, you heard all the panelists. You're a young entrepreneur. Tell us, what are you thinking about the future? How do you see the next 6 months, 12 months? Do you see it being as bad as the last 3 months? Do you see it being better? Or do you think it will take a while for the economy to come back?
What I personally feel is that the virus is, weakening in the country. We can see it now. I think in the next 1.5, 2 months, we will be in a safer space. What the government should technically do is spread more stories of positivity. Like what's been mentioned, that fear factor needs to be removed. So they need to start telling people that people are recovering, the virus is weakening. Economies like Italy, Spain, they've opened up, they're bouncing back. UK is bouncing back. So we need to give better case studies, more positive stories, and I think in 2 months, the fear of the virus will reduce. People will start stepping out. One positive thing which I'm really seeing is the agriculture sector. Rural is really performing incredibly. And, rural has been the backbone of our country. So that should hold the GDP up a little. It should bring it back up a bit. The government on its end should definitely bring about, give help with the demand by giving out maybe a little more direct payments, help with, a little more policies like cutting down corporate tax, cutting down your GST, cutting down your income tax for a short span of time, bring back the demand in the market. But I think 6-7 months, it's going to be tough for India in terms of GDP, in terms of, bouncing back. But I think in the long run, we are going to benefit as a country. I think.
Okay, we only have about 3 minutes left into the show now. In fact, let's go through that rapid fire round that we usually have at the end of the show. Akshara, why don't you tell us, where do you think the economy will be in the next 60 to 90 days?
So, a lot depends on how, the next month pans out. I think a lot of MSMEs are on their last leg of liquidity. So there is, a couple of observations. It's not only the MSMEs, it's also the big guys that are hurting, right? When you talk about, so it's a myth that it's only the small guys, it's only the migrant workers, it's everybody in the value chain 3 months down the line are hurting. If you do something like a furlough scheme where the government comes in and takes 80% of the wages of the employees for 80% or 75% like Denmark did, provided the employer does not lay off the employees 3 months later, that can help prevent layoffs. There's one, again, healthcare. It's not about having enough beds. People are, and not only from the supply side of it, it's also the inherent fear of transparency. Are we equipped to handle it also? And am I going to be able, at every level of my income stack, be able to deal with a healthcare crisis, which may not be that transparent in the billing system? So there are lots of inherent issues. When you're talking about brain drain, and I'm talking about renewable energy here, it's not only about banning Chinese products. Chinese products have an entry through Vietnam, Thailand. There are lots of routes, so there are lots of holes. If you want to make India more self-reliant, we need to deep dive stronger and go to a much more long-term policy and look at the small spillages that are already happening and be careful in consolidation. We do not have too many monopolies kicking in.
Okay. All right. Mr. Anil Nagar, what do you think is going to become of the economy in the next 60 to 90 days?
You'll have to unmute yourself, Anil. Anil, you'll have to unmute yourself.
I believe it's going to be better from here. And of course, people are now accepting Corona as a part of life. It's not going to change dramatically, but I believe it's going to slightly improve from here. Let's say so 5 to 10% from here, what I can see from right now.
So L-shaped, V-shaped, U-shaped.
No, so it's going to be U-shape only, right? It will improve slowly.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Quickly. All right. Mr. Goel?
जैसे जैसे कोरोना का डर खत्म होता जाएगा वैसे वैसे इकोनॉमी आगे बढ़ती जाएगी एंड इन द टाइम टू कम
7 दिन में डर खत्म होगा कि नहीं होगा?
60 दिन में डर जो आगे बढ़ेगा अभी, क्योंकि क्या है, हिंदुस्तान में कर्व जो है फ्लैटन होना चालू नहीं हुआ है, इट्स ऑन द राइज। जैसे जैसे अभी जब तक ये अभी आज भी हिंदुस्तान में करीब 20,000 केस पर डे आ रहे हैं, तो आने वाले टाइम में 1 महीने में 1.5 महीने में जब ये कर्व फ्लैट होगा और फिर उसके बाद डाउनवर्ड ट्रेंड लेगा, तब इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ चालू होगी।
Next 60 days, 90 days, the economy may not be good. That's really
Okay.
what Suresh is saying.
All right,
Anushka,
Mr.
your
90 days
final
it will start
All right.
improving.
We really have run out of time. Mr. Gupta, where do you think the economy will be in the next 60 to 90 days?
If the government keeps going on the right track of giving more and more financial stimulus, I believe that the economy will revive, will bounce back in next 6 months. 2 things I will
Okay.
point out quickly. One,
Yes, quickly. We don't have time, sir.
on the mainstream media, whether it is by themselves or by the putting conditions by the government indirectly or directly, no corona news should be flashed on the news TV for whole the day, only leaving once or twice in the day. There should be positive news in that. And one more thing, this CBI, ED and income tax, all these agencies should be stopped visiting the industry, whether it is a small industry or the large industry, for at least for next 6 months. If they want,
That's a debate for another time. All right, we've really run out of time. Divya, where will we be in the next 60 to 90 days? You have about 10 seconds.
So 60 to 90 days, I think it's going to get tough. Cases are going to go up, but when it gets tough, it's when the tough get going. There will be consolidation. The SMEs are going to lose out, but we need to get our act together. I think there'll be a lot of people who will lose businesses. Businesses will shut down. Jobs will be getting lost. But it's the people who go back, work on processes, cut out the fat, cut out excess spend that we have and that we are making. I think the strong businesses will emerge. So I think it's an opportunity for young entrepreneurs, while at the same time, it is going to be a hard 60, 90 days.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Divya, Anil, Anushka, Mr. Gupta, Akshara, Mr. Goel, Anurag, thank you so much for being a part of this show.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.